Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the notes on box and whisker diagrams. At the end of this, you should be able to say, I can find the 5-number summary and create a box and whisker plot. Okay, so let's talk about what those mean. So a box and whisker plot or diagram displays visually some descriptive statistics from a data set. It includes the minimum, quartile 1, the median, quartile 3, and the maximum, and we call this the 5-number summary. Okay, and then this is what a box and whisker plot looks like. So this value here is going to be our minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, maximum, and then underneath it you will have a scale that shows like where each of the values are for this, and that needs to be a nice consistent scale. All right, so that's what a box and whisker plot consists of. The 5-number summary, and it's going to look like this. So let's try one. Okay, so example 8, consider the data set, all this here, find the 5-number summary, draw a box plot, find the range, find the interquartile range, and then find the percent of data values that are more than 9. Okay, so let's see, this is not a lot of data, so again, we can do this on a graphing calculator, or we can just do it by hand. I'm just going to elect to do this by hand here. So I'm just going to order everything, and then away we go. Okay. Okay. So here's everything ordered. There are 12 numbers, so we know part of our info already. So we know the minimum already is going to be 3. We don't know quartile 1 yet. We don't know the median yet. We'll figure these out. We don't know quartile 3, but we do know that the max is the biggest number, which in this case is 11. Okay, so since there are 12, that means there's going to be 6 below and 6 above. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here is the median. So halfway between 7 and 8 is 7.5. Okay, there's 6 left down here, so that means this right here is going to be quartile 1. Average of 5 and 5 is 5. And then 1, 2, 3, right between these two is going to be quartile 3. Halfway between 9 and 10 is 9.5. So we now have our 5-number summary. So then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a box plot. What you want to do first for drawing your box plot, this part B here, is you want to draw your scale underneath first. Okay, so I know that my lowest value's got to be 3 and the highest value's got to be 11. So let's do this. 3, let's see if we can get this to work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That works out pretty well. So we can even just number every other one, and that should work out just fine. Okay. So what we're going to want to do now is we are going to put our all of this data in here. So I'm going to put dots for each one of these of the 5-number summary. So I know I've got a dot at 3. That's my minimum. Quartile 1 is at 5. Median is at 7.5. Quartile 3 is at 9.5. And the max is at 11. Okay? So I know between these bottom 2 dots is a line and the top 2 dots is a line, and then between the middle 3 dots, that's our box. All right, so we draw our box like so, and then we draw a line right down through there, and this is what our box and whisker plot will then look like. Okay, you don't have to, but I always find it kind of takes all the guesswork out of like someone that's looking at this plot. I always put the numbers right above it. So like that's a 3, that's 5, this is 7.5, this is 9.5, and then this is say 11 here. Okay. All right. So draw the box plot. We did find the range. So that's from the difference between 11 and 3, right? So part C, we would just do 11 minus 3, which gives us, it's got a range of 8. Okay. D, the interquartile range, that's the difference between the quartile 3 and quartile 1. So that's 9.5 minus 5, which gives us 4.5. And then it says find the percent of the of data values that are more than 9, and that actually should read 9.5, not 9. Okay, so they're saying basically what percent of the data values are bigger than this here. So here's the really important part to understand about a box and whisker diagram. If you remember, first thing we did was found the median. So that means 50% of the data is down here and 50% of the data is up here. The next thing we did was find the lower quartile and the upper quartile, right? So if this is 50% and we split that 50% exactly in half, that means each of these are 25%. Okay, let's do this in a different color, make it stand out a little bit more. So we know that this is 25% of the data. This is 25% of the data. Again, this top part got split, this top 50% got split exactly in half, so that means that this is 25% of the data, and this is 25% of the data, right? So then if they're asking us for this last question here, find the percent of data values that are more than 9.5, here's 9.5. Up above that is going to be, that it would be 25% are going to be more than 9.5. Okay? All right, that's really all there is for this section here. If you have any further questions at all, please feel free to ask. Thanks.